Time zone. We are once here again, of course, to continue our deliberations regarding the happenings and as it borders on the independence of Nigeria. 63 years ago, there came a country who, of course, sought an independence and from the British colony and was given such independence and become a federation. But 62 years down the line, it appears it is more or less something of regrettable incidents rather than being celebrated. 63 years down the line, the masses are saying, wow, this has become more or less a curse rather than a blessing. Yes, what is your take this morning? Good morning. Here with me is Mr. Niyi, of course, opening the show. Good morning, Mr. Niyi.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Chigoze.
The Afenifere, Ohanaeze, Pandev, and others have made their positions very clear that they cannot celebrate in hardship, in poverty. So, what is your take on this?
Well, I'm alluding to that statement. I mean, it is no, we cannot keep living in self denial. Nigerians are going through serious hardship, and this is as a result of leadership failure that has accumulated over the years since independence. You
Okay.
see, we have suffered from bad leadership, and this has led us to this quagmire that we find ourselves today as a nation. It's unbelievable that there was a time in this country that we had so much money, and a leader came out and said he didn't know what to use money for. And this was a period Dubai was still, they were still under, and they had no money. They were sourcing for funds, and unfortunately today Dubai is a nation that has banned Nigerians from even gaining access into their country. I mean, it has never been so low. The country as of today is not trusted by any nation because we have lost our credit score.
Not trusted by
Any
any nation.
nation, it's so unfortunate that, before now, getting billions of dollars was, I mean, it was just at our snap of fingers. But as of today, because of corruption, perpetrated by our, leaders, politicians, and here we are today, we are where we are. Very unfortunate. The green, white, green. I mean, the white should be turned to red. The country is bleeding.
And the
Nigeria
green should be turned to what?
should be turned to red. The
Red.
country is bleeding.
What about the whites?
That's it. The white should be turned to red.
Total red.
The country is bleeding, and this is as a result of leadership failures since 1960. It's so unfortunate that we are still here. We are more or less tied down in this bondage, and until we, the people, rise up, because I've always said it that even the president might not find it easy as far as we still have that hollow chamber called National Assembly. Because the National Assembly are the ones, locking us down with their wicked claws and fines. Those guys are the ones sucking us, that the ones denying us. Because if I ask you as a Nigerian, and if I ask any other meaningful Nigerian, they will say that we have always wished to go back to our original, system of government. But we cannot achieve that without what the National Assembly are agreeing to such, shift. A president cannot outrightly by fiat says, I want to what? Turn the system back to regional system.
Now, what I want you to
So
now
we
is,
ask, yes, I'm with you.
okay, is for Ohanaeze being, of course, is social political
Yeah,
group
organization.
organization from the east
Yeah.
and Afenifere from the west.
We have Odudua, we have
Arewa have
Arewa.
no confidence, and the Arewas. What is that telling you about the Nigerian state? That is no longer about a section of the country, but literally all the regions are fed up with the system called Nigeria. That they have nothing to show for. I mean, Nigeria has nothing to, of course, celebrate according to their submissions.
Every sectional socio-political organization are simply speaking the mind of a reasonable common Nigerian. Every common Nigerian wants a situation whereby we can hold our region fully responsible and accountable for its action. All right? The current president today has always what pushed for regional governance, but he cannot do that by fiat. It needs the permission, the confirmation of the what? The National Assembly.
But has he made such moves at this time?
No,
People have been calling for such.
Let me tell you why the National Assembly are so rattled and unsettled as we speak. It is because the likes of Yad, the northern senators particularly, feel threatened that in this situation whereby we have a south-south combination and a southwest combination, that they might want to go for what? Resource control. And this is why Yari and his cohorts are so particular about impeaching Senator Akpabio. And I want to urge you, my fellow Nigerians, that we should not allow that to happen.
But this honestly, does that matters where the Senate president comes from?
I think it matters.
If there is good governance,
let me tell you,
and people are fed better.
What we are saying is this: in the venture of vying for regional system, you need the Senate president to be on the same page with the president. If the president wants it, okay, and he pushes it to the National Assembly as a policy, and the National Assembly they take a look at it, the Senate president can as well assuade more people in that corridor of power. But let me tell you, we have all the northern senators who would raise their hand against such movements. And this is why, when Senator Akpabio wanted to vie for this Senate president seat, Yari was called upon, he was told to step down, he said he wasn't. Yari started going around to propagate that statement of he's fighting against resource control.
The northern agenda.
Yes, that Akpabio might want to push forward resource control because he understands that Akpabio is from a oil-rich state.
But even the North has major natural resources, even like gold.
No, they have.
So why are they afraid of natural control of resources?
Let me tell you the situation. This
they have the team, they have silica, they have so many things.
You see, the attachment syndrome is what the North are suffering from. They are so attached to the oil wells because they know little or no effort is being applied to grow this economy, yet they get a substantial amount of revenue on a monthly basis called FAC. Okay? They don't want to put more effort to dig the ground and bring in resources. Let me tell you, the northern states is way richer than even the southern region of Nigeria in the long run, because it's in the north that we'll find lithium. Lithium is the next, which is even bigger than crude oil, is the next, gold, even gold. And even in Zamfara alone, you can use your hand to scrape gold's elements. But you see,
those gold have been, of course,
are you aware that
to the?
Are you even aware that it is Yari? Yari has a gold store in Dubai named Yari Gold something. Yari, I think was one of the first governors of Zamfara State. He mines gold legally. That is where he gets the majority of his money to go into political warfare. So they don't want, issues of they don't want to face the gold alone. They want to have that gold to themselves and then have a share in the oil that belongs to the South.
Imagine, isn't that wickedness? Isn't that the unfair balance we, of course, especially the Eastern people have been calling for, where the Zamfara goats belongs to the Zamfara alone, but the oil in Uguta, Imo State, where I come from, belongs to the federal government.
Well, let me tell you,
and with shared by every state.
Let me tell you, it is
not called. It's only meant for the Zamfara and the northern.
Let me add more to that your statement. It is not only the Eastern state that is calling for the fragmentation of this unit system that we have. The Western states, from time immemorial, have always cried for what? Let us have a regional system. If you take a look back at history, you will realize that when we were practicing regional system, the Western region happens to be the most successful out of all the regions. However, today, The senators are the one that will never allow such vision and dream to come to fruition, most especially the northern regions, the northern senators. Okay, so we as the southerners, all our senators must be on the same page. When we have that, okay, and then we can have a buy-in, dismiss,
Okay.
and then we can have a buy-in of the middle belt, because what the southern region actually need is, let us have that support of the middle belt, which are the Benue, the Plateaus, and the Nasarawa and the likes. We can have their buy-in. Okay, I can tell you that we can what? We will be able to successfully what? Break away from these shackles of bondage that we find ourselves under this unit system called
Nigeria, which has never worked.
I mean, for the last 63 years, we have been doing the same thing. I mean, it is the highest level of madness and insanity for us to think that something drastically and about prosperity will come up from this unit system. I understand that under this unit system we can still achieve some level of successes. Yes, it is impossible, but for us to break away from the shackles of ethnic bigotry, for us to break away from the shackles of what ethnic tensions, whereby we castigate ourselves, we have to realize that we need to break away. So whereby, just as we have in Sudan, where we have the Sudan and the Southern Sudan, right? Until we do that, we might just continue unto perpetuity to always have the argument of you are from this side, you are from that side, you are from that side.
So you have established that the Nigerian project is no longer sustainable,
Apparently,
and we should call for either regional government or total separation as a way of course, ensuring progress for all as sundry. Let every region develop at their pace.
Yeah.
Just as you cited during the Western region, control
of its cocoa, whatever resources, and even in this Eastern region,
they were able to do pretty well. The same thing, the Eastern region become the fastest developing economy in the world as of then.
You could recall then, while we're even operating the regional system, the North were not even doing bad at all. Because they had
granite pyramids,
they had some, what's it called?
Farm produce,
a lot of cash crops. So I mean, they were not doing bad. But because of these selfish politicians in that National Assembly, they will never see a reason for us to go into that system of government.
Yes, because they benefit from the unitary government. I think it's time the people or the masses begin to mobilize themselves
until we do that.
Demand for regional government. And this is the only thing, of course, that we
do that
will get us on the back on the track of development.
Yeah.
Now that you see that, unfortunately, Ohanaeze, you are welcome. And me, honestly, you are totally confused. How do you mean? Today, you are finally stated that separation is the solution.
Well,
this is coming from one of your critics, Ohanaeze Chima. Ohanaeze Chima, good morning. Of course, you are the first to comment here. He's asking, where is Tinubu? Has the United Nations General Assembly not ended? Or have we gone for the possible medical checkups? Why is he not yet back in the town where the house is burning?
Well, Ohanaeze Chima, today we are talking about the Nigeria entity and how it can foster development in a sustainable way. All right? If we are talking about our current system, then yes, I'll talk about Tinubu. And by the way, Tinubu touched down yesterday night. Okay? He came back last night.
Wow.
And he's back into the country. Now, on the issue of that where he said I'm confused. How am I confused? I just stated my own opinion that for this country to develop at a sustainable rate, where we would no longer suffer issues of ethnic bigotry, religious bigotry, and whatever differences breaking us away, and we're always having that ethnic tension during a political period, is for we to break away into regional system. And I clearly stated that the only people holding us back on achieving that at the National Assembly, and until we as the people, Nigerians, until we understand that and we channel our energy rightly, we begin to collectively hold our senators, hold them responsible as a bloc, as a southern bloc. Let us hold our southern senators. Let us hold them together. We want you to push for regional government, and then the northerners. And I've also, pointed the fact that the northern senators will never. And this is where we have seen that Yari,
if they are not interested in the development of Nigeria by way of canvassing, advocating for regional control. Now let them go their separate ways.
And that is why,
because others needed to move forward. Enough of this suffering.
And now is the best. Now is the best time for we Nigerians to stand up and begin to work fight for that. Because first and foremost, the Senate president will definitely want such, and he will support such movement. Secondly, the president has always supported such arguments. Now, if we, the Southerners, now rise up today and we say, yes, let us push for this regional system or resource control, let every state manage its resources. I can tell you now is the best time. The last National Assembly, if you recall, the Senate president was who? Was a northerner from, I think, was it Borno? Was it Borno or Bauchi? I can't recall his name now. I will remember who was the president, a northerner. So there was no way they would have supported such movement. Today is the best period for us to push for either resource control or we push for what? Regional system of governance. And if we do that, we come together collectively, whether the Igbos, whether the Yorubas, or the Ijaws, we come together, we hold our southern senators, all of them, we hold them together. And we are so lucky that the Senate president is also from the south, and the president is also from the south. I can tell you, the northerners, what they will do at the end of the day is just to do what? They will just wail, but we'll have our way. Because as of today, we are the majority with the help of the middle belt, that we know they will gravitate towards the south. States like Benue will rather gravitate towards the south rather than to the north. States like Plateau will rather gravitate towards the south instead of the what? Instead of the north. So if we have those two guys on board, we will be able to achieve either resource control or what? Regional system of governance. And this is why Yari Abubakar, that former governor of Zamfara, this is why he's fighting to what? To unseat Akpabio. He wants to unseat Akpabio because he's afraid that in the next few months we might start agitating for resource control. And today we have two southerners on the critical seat. We have this president and the Senate president, and you understand that we can achieve this.
And also the CGN.
Yes. So they are so scared, and this is why they are doing everything, trying to go through every machinations, every propaganda to ensure they push the Akpabio out of it. But we Nigerians, we must see the opportunity and let us stand up to take it.
But can you vouch for the sincerity of those executives, the CDN from the south, to protect the interests of the Southerners? The call in 2014, when such came up during the confab, there was a call and move for regional control of.
Who was the president?
Jonathan.
Who was the Senate president?
The Senate president was then, if I may recall, Nigerian history is fast eroding.
Who was the president?
Who was the president?
Was it Southerner in Northern?
I think that was no, not Saraki.
It must have been a Northerner.
Okay, Northerner, so to say. Then,
let me tell you, that's what I'm.
But what I'm saying that most Western senators,
my brother, the very first time we had the opportunity to go back to resource control or regional system of governance was under Obasanjo. When Obasanjo and what's this called? I think the Senate president, this man from Benue. And there was a time we had a Senate president from the southeast.
Yeah, Mike. What is that?
Mark. I can't recall his name. Something Mark, a former general. Those were the first times. But Obasanjo didn't what?
Misuse opportunity.
He didn't push that. Neither did the Senate president push that. Today is our second chance for us to push for resource control. I mean, if we push for resource control,
I think that the Emiliokos will be mindful of that. Or they are.
Let me tell you, there is no Yoruba man who is not proud and who doesn't want to push for Western region. There is no Yoruba man who doesn't want it.
You are right. And I spoke with one man who said that
listen,
they are more now interested in the Yoruba nation rather than believing in one Nigeria.
Mr. Chigoze, don't get me wrong. If we are looking for a sustainable way to push and to ensure this country moves forward, okay, is to push for a constitutional amendment. However, if we want to continue to what we have, another thing is to push for resource control. All right.
Now, if that is being frustrated at the Senate,
It is
by the northern
and it is, and it will always be.
by the northern clique, what would you suggest otherwise? Because if that is the only cog in the wheel of our progress,
What I suggest,
and they are frustrating such move,
what I suggest,
would you
what
suggest?
I suggest is let us educate our fellow Southerners, the Igbos, the Ijaws. This is our opportunity. Until we as Southerners allow this election malfeasance or whatever, because I understand so many people still have black blood against the Southwesterners, most especially the Southeasterners still have this black blood against the Southwesterners.
No, I think that is a misconceived.
I'm not sure. I'm not. Look at Udeze's statement. Look at Udeze's statement.
No.
Udeze doesn't see Tinubu as a Southerner.
He doesn't have the right to express himself.
Udeze said he would
As
never.
an individual, he's not speaking on behalf of the South.
Udeze said
I
he
hope
would
you are aware of
never
that.
accept Tinubu as a Southern president. I think that is totally unfair.
I'm also saying, of course, a Yoruba man who said he will never, even given the opportunity to work with Tinubu. So, the fact that he made such submission does not about the fact that he's a Yoruba.
As far as I'm concerned, Udeze on this platform has a very big force. And this is why I'm targeting him. And this is why I want him to have a change of mind.
Okay, you are targeting him.
Yes.
You are.
I am preaching to him to have a change of mind.
I hope you are not making any plans to come back in Nigeria so soon. Me, who happen to be one of those in control of government, say is targeting you.
No, I need to ensure he converts and stop playing politics of bitterness. Because what I've seen from most of my Southerners is they have played politics of bitterness.
No, it's not about the bitterness stems from just as what Afenifere, Ohanaeze, Arewa also, of course, submitted. It stems from the hardship, incessant hardship, poverty that have been inflicted on the masses. So nobody will see his or her loved ones suffering unnecessarily. These are more or less avoidable, of course, issues, and you feel that you will be happy with the system. So that is where, of course,
it is my prayer as a Nigerian is in the next future. I hope we as a Nigerians will finally come together and demand for good governance from the legislators.
Can there be nearest future where today is not preserved, just like we saw in the newspaper, in the pages of newspaper that insecurity unsettles Abuja residents.
Well, for me, there will be an
insecurity. Even at this time, Abuja is not safe.
Well, for me,
when you are marking 63 independence.
Well, for me, there will be a nice future for me. Right?
So for you as an individual,
yeah, for me,
but possibly not about Nigeria.
As far as Nigeria is concerned today, you have to fight for your head by yourself. Otherwise, you get consumed. All right. So anytime anybody you see walking on the streets of Nigeria is on his own. A woman got shot in Abuja. I think she was pushed down. She entered one chance and she was shot. They took her to the hospital. The hospital said they were not going to admit her. Otherwise,
except a police report. You can imagine the kind of funny country we are.
You can imagine such a country. So you just have to fight for your own, for your own head. Otherwise, you might get consumed.
A citizen that fell victim of course, the notorious and nefarious individuals, unfortunately, could not be attended to by the same fellow citizens because of the bottleneck and the restrictions. Condition that has been placed, and unfortunately, she lost her life, and millions have likewise lost their life at 63. What should we celebrate? Is that what is tenable, Mr. Udeze, where you reside? Is that how the government treats her own supposed citizens? Please let us know if that is the way, and let's know whether that is where they abducted such of course, system. We have seen, of course, the president returning from the United Nations General Assembly. Is that how, of course, insecurity, of course, of those regions were prevalent or predominant? It is quite unfortunate, but unfortunate indeed is that how long will this remain? We must chart a way forward for humanity. That is our interest, and that remains our focus. Don't forget to like the button, give us a like, a thumbs up, share, of course, and of course, comment on the comment
Top
section.
view news.
Okay, Top View News is also inviting you to
Top view news.
also to also
Top
subscribe.
view news. Please
That
follow
is,
my channel.
Mr. Niyi's channel. Do appreciate you. Don't forget to join
Thank you. Good
the
morning.
subscription button. Thank you once again, Mr. Niyi. Yes, we are still continuing this wonderful deliberations and discussions, sir. Yes, we have Mr. Matthew. Mr. Matthew, you are welcome. Let's have your view on this. Okay, you are still engaged with so many things. That is very important. We continue to discuss very pertinent issues here, and we must not deny the realities. How do we go from here? If Ohanaeze, Afenifere, of course, the middle belts, the Arewa consultative forums have expressed zero, of course, have passed zero confidence in the system called Nigeria. At this 63, then what is left to be celebrated? That is the mark, the score mark, of course, over this, not just this government, but successive government has brought untold woes, tales of woes, of course, upon the people. And that's why even the supposed citizens are rejecting their own country, the supposed country that was forced on them in 1914 by the British colonial masters, and which was designed to run for 100 years, which unfortunately, to so to say, wounded up 2013, and the conference was called 2014 to reconsider, of course, a common existence and the continuity of the Nigerian state. But unfortunately, that ended in deadlock, and Nigeria is still where it is today, 63 years counting the independence. Unfortunately, how independent is this country becomes a subject of discussion this morning. Have we gained the true independence when the hardship, when the British left us, is a far cry to where we are today? That should have been, of course, some sense of development or improvement on the, of course, economic, social, and well-being of the citizens. But to the contrary, we are more worse. I mean, thinking of this Mali as a country called Nigeria. It is so unfortunate, but then whatever happens, let's continue to see how things unfold. How long will this be tolerated? And who should we blame or continue to blame? Is it a time or moment of sharing blames, or a time we must, of course, rise up and demand that the realities, the truth, of course, must be done. We must get it right now or never. And of course, because of this negligence, agitations across the entire regions are building up. The Yoruba nation is about to launch the interim government because they do not believe in the Nigerian struggle anymore, because Nigeria has not just failed them, has killed the most of the loved ones, and brought untold and unimaginable psychological, emotional, and even physiological damage to their entire well-being. And to this end, they are calling for an interim government of the Yoruba nation or republic any moment from now. Well, the details will be bringing your way, of course, a few days to come. Yes, and away from that, you also see the restiveness within the eastern region. You can imagine if the Abuja, being the seat of power, is not safe, if insecurity unsettles the Abuja residents, even as of today, then what becomes of other regions? The Abuja should be one of the most, of course, protected states or region, if I may say. But that notwithstanding, there is panic, there is, people are running helter-skelter, people are apprehensive. They can't even walk without fear of what might happen to them. That if that is the case with Abuja, then Needless to talk about the southeastern region, where even most security operatives are bombing innocent properties of the supposed citizens within those regions. Insecurity has become the order of the day, not just in the southeast, not just in the north. Of course, the west is not left out. Even Abuja, the seat of power, has become something not desirable. It's rather unfortunate, and we must seek a lasting solution to this. According to the last speaker, of course, he said that the only solution now is to call for regional control to avoid all this bigotry, breaking, and unhealthy competitions, and which has not brought any development to the entire masses of this country. Rather, we are becoming more populated but more impoverished, stuck in the wheel of motionless and despair. This is the story about Nigeria at 63. I am still to expect anyone, of course, who will tell the tales of goodness about the Nigeria at 63. But let's know what is your own submission via the comment section while we wait for, of course, the next available reviewer who might want to express his own opinion regarding this and these topical issues. Now, let's focus on why the Afenifere, the Ohanaezes, are calling for a total this empowerment of this country. Let's watch and see this happening, and this becomes very necessary at this very important time. Let's see what that means and then what that portends to us as a people. If people are now rejecting, of course, their own country, if they are dissatisfied about what is happening, rather than celebrating, and of course, the giant strides and developments so far, what they are recounting is the loss, the agony, the pain, the death, the killings here and there across the length and breadth of the entire region. Yes, good morning, Mr. Romero. Thank you, good morning. Thank you for coming. Mr. Dozel, yes, we've greeted. Good morning, thank you for coming. And the host of others, you are most welcome. Yes, Chima, welcome to this discussion this morning. These are topical issues about the country called Nigeria. We got independence in 1960, and by 1963 was declared a republic, having, of course, the control of its sovereignty and to decide its political, economic, and of course social future. But unfortunately, the future seems to have been lost. The economy is in shambles and comatose. Yes, we have you. Yes, come. Let me come. We are in live, and just come over here so that you can express yourself. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. We like that I describe you as a reggae. Possibly you have the passion for reggae. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to meet you.
Nice having you this morning. We have to discuss about the Nigerian factor. Afenifere, Ohanaeze, Arewa, and others have expressed total dissatisfaction, vote of no confidence in the Nigerian system or projects. So, do you share the same, of course, opinion with them?
I may say they are right, because now the hope we are expecting from the people that we are looking up to, that have fed us. Because when a goat is chewing and the chips, and the children is looking over it, they are learning from it. And now they have disappointed that the younger generation is looking up to the present one now. They say in a proverb that we are the leaders of tomorrow, but we keep on seeing the youth as a lazy youth. When will be leadership will be over to the youth? And these old cargoes that have really failed us, they are very disappointed. They don't even let the youth to come up. They don't even wish the youth to breathe. It's an early and a greedy wish that we pray that it will be better than it saw. And that's what they do in this country, for us to say. In Nigeria, every nation prays that, oh, the younger ones should be better than the old ones. But here in Nigeria, we only have that prayer, the older ones should be better than the younger ones, which I don't know where they pattern this knowledge from.
And possibly there may not be future for such a society.
Yes,
when the elders are more better than the younger ones.
The younger ones. So which means that they don't give the young generation opportunity to participate in their own knowledge, to participate in their own contribution to the society. I must to say now, when looking into Nigeria system, it shows that the younger ones don't have value. It shows the younger ones don't have even contribution. They have nothing to offer to move the country forward. But the other ones don't give them the privilege to even say, they have a say.
Is that why the younger ones now, because there is no opportunity for them to participate in the art of governance and decide their future? Is that why they are going into
Yes, because
Yahoo, ritualists, and other sort of crime?
Okay, when you say that, let me give you an example. Like when this man is there, what they call the previous government before the recent one, Ambode have to retire the older ones and tell them, go home and bring your son and come. You can't remain in government for over 30 years, 40 years. You want to remain at the age of 70, 70 something. When will you allow your own son to be participating? If you are holding up position for your son not to participate, your son has no alternative than to do what? To look alternative for himself. And when you look alternative in a way around and you didn't get it right, you look the other side of the way around too. Because if you can retire at the age of 70 or 60 something and give your son a privilege, my son, come over here and place me, your son will not be able to be thinking negatively. You know that my father have already left somewhere from. But this one, you see someone that's so old enough, even our grandfather is want to remain in power.
At 90, they are still giving them
appointment and are still giving them allowances.
At 80, in his 80s or so.
I remember most of them that is head of state, all of them are just doing something. The other state is not up to 35 years. And they are youth. So when the youth of our day is giving this privilege to witness young presidents, when will it happen? Is it mean to happen in the grave or to, because they say that the greatest treasure is in grave? Because many people die with their talent, but we're not giving the privilege to play all along with your talents and showcase it in society at large. And they discuss somebody that have left without even improving herself to the society at large. Yes, and that's why they're giving the younger ones no privilege to participate.
Now, for Ohanaeze to say we can celebrate in hardship, in poverty, then they have officially recognized that there is a high level of poverty and backwardness in Nigeria.
Yes, let's say this way. It's not about of saying it, or maybe every human being is hearing it now. Every human being knows it. Even the food they chop, self, you know how much it is now. So let them chop 3 square meal a day.
What?
Some cannot even afford 3 square meal a day.
You are talking of 3 square meal?
Yes, I'm just an example. Even one is almost impossible for millions. See how rate of begging is in the streets of Nigeria. The rate of begging now.
You have experienced that?
Yes, of course. I see them daily basis. The rate of begging now from 2% now is up to 50%. Family member, if you ask somebody how are you, the next thing you hear buy from me. It's Nigeria gets now, find it, how are you? You get say buy from me. You follow me, go greet my G, after longest time, you say I'm hungry. Can you support me? So why is all this? Let me just assume, many years ago, everybody's hustling, everybody's seeing alternative, everybody's seeing opportunity. But this little opportunity, little chances you are having for the past, there's no more there. They have already killed even the privileged ones along. And they don't carry us along at the same time. They just dump us. Like what I'm witnessing now. During election, there was like, that's what is not working, okay, is not working. But now, witness what is happening now. They have already empowered them again to start work. Yeah. And collecting the hope of the common man. Honestly, I saw where they are parking market women's foodstuffs. People that are displaying on the roadside, packing them rice, yam. Somebody that render. There's also women that are suffering, hustling for their family to keep their family you that say alive. And it's you that say that you witness it and see it. Yeah.
I'm angry about this country.
Lagos State.
What is Kai doing?
Let me tell you
what sort of recklessness?
Somebody that remove food from someone's mouth don't expect more than to send the person to be a criminal. Because if I'm trying to make food,
can you say it again?
Somebody that remove food from someone's mouth should not expect more rather to see the person being a criminal. Because you can't come out food from my mouth and expect him to be an innocent soul.
These are very strong words.
It means the individual to go extra mind, to become heartless and deadly. because I made the person to see the wickedness of the world, the wickedness of life, and he made the person to know that if you cannot afford 3 square meal and let's say the idle man is a devil workshop, they have made that person to be an idol. And the next alternative is to become a devil on his own
For survivor.
for survivor. So if this government have any alternative for the common man, it should have already been provided by now, because the hardship is hitting 0.0.
Wow, it is rather unfortunate that the government who refused to provide food for her student population of course, the masses, is just giving them an alternative, an option to go into crime. And the rate of crime is becoming alarming as it stands now in Nigeria. Virtually, there are pandemonium, there are wretchedness, the rate at which people are robbing now, stealing, and even ritualists, organ harvesting, is at alarming. It's because of the incompetence of government. If the government is, nobody here to wake up and say God will punish you. Even the common man, they know the government provides vehicle to eat for her teeming population, even those who travel,
even yes, even as students, even a visitor in US eats through food because of the food citizen, the food home base. But in Nigeria, no matter how it was, government want to even steal from the common man. No matter how it was, government want to make the common man useless. No matter how it was, government want to render you foolishness.
Honestly, I wonder how they will. It's like the
one word of saying, when you are making and improve by yourself, there will be a wish and wizard that will be impressing you. That's what Nigeria government does for the common masses.
The more the masses try to survive on their own,
yes, on their own.
Government and these agencies keep on this kind. What do they call it?
They keep on pressing.
Keep around them whatever indiscipline, but they are more indisciplined. You cannot cut away with the properties of the Nigerian citizens. We must make a provision for that person.
Without making provisions for the alternative, it's when the person refuses an alternative. That's the only way.
Exactly. You can't just tell somebody to come out there, whether you like it or not, go and kill yourself. The local state government should make alternative for them. These market women, rather than mobilizing their relatives. With the masses. These are, Nigerians. I saw their commodities being cutted away. These are people trying to meet ends meet to keep their families and their children, of course, alive. But unfortunately, those things were cutted away from. If you think it is not the right place for them to be, why not make an alternative for them? And of course, give them the opportunity to go there.
Life in Lagos is not easy. Life in Lagos here is not an easy, because we know Lagos is a city, and to somebody to be in a city, you must be an affordable somebody, because everything in a city have high rate of price. Not only being because we are in Lagos. Lagos is very, 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 very hard, expensive to live. Nothing is common in Lagos. If you buy water now, water is very expensive to buy, which is a common thing to every nation. They must have a water corporation that is giving free to the government. Because now there's no water corporation, there's no light, free of charge. Nothing is free in Nigeria. Even when you shit in the public place, you pay.
Now what is Nigerian citizens enjoying? We are enjoying nothing.
Even common water, the government no public water for the people pay. Please, I pay 15 naira. I shift, I pay 150 or 100 naira. There's nothing you do in Nigeria that you not, especially in Lagos here, that you not pay for it.
Well, you are a businessman. How are you coping with this? We are
hoping.
How are people patronizing?
Exactly. I said it there. I said it in that vendor standing. Norms before we used to make money. Let me give you a good example of it. If you are making 10,000 in a day for the past 5 years, you sure anytime I come and get 5,000, I will get 10,000. Now it's not up to that even amount. There's the day you come and you don't even see somebody's money enter. Maybe rather spend 1.5, which never used to be for the past. But presently now, it used to happen. You begin to wonder what's wrong. At times you be thinking maybe your village people is doing you. But when somebody have a lot of expenses over his neck, you think the most important one.
The most important one, if you have the resources to go by.
But what especially when you don't have much to spend on some of your needs, you go for after scale of preference, the one that is most important. There's people don't need of buying. Let me tell you the truth. Like on Sundays before, market we used to sell my people will go out and they will come back, they'll be buying. These days, every day girlfriend is telling her, baby, I like this, you'll be drawing your hand, let's go home. People doesn't stop, but people doesn't used to go out as usual.
Go out to do what?
For flexing at least.
For navigation.
Yes.
Yeah, where do you see the money?
Because there's this was called,
You must be a politician or connected to
yes, or ritualist or Yahoo. And a real normal hustler, and I don't give you. I remember one last time I took a ShopRite ice cream. I belong now. They can force better chocolate now for ShopRite. You could just 1,000 something or 700 or even 800. But now it's not. Before I used to buy 400, 300 now. But what's something increased? For 4 days now, I'm the hunger of mineral. I can't afford money for mineral because I already put in money. I rather drinking pure water that I used to drink. Even the pure water we are buying at 350 for the past, it's just one. Even 5 naira followed by pure water in this country. So what is wrong? In some places now you cannot even afford pure water. 120. Some places they say 150 naira. I remember in the season I travel road. If you can get to pure water, to sell one at rate of 15 naira. Common water that you know that is common everywhere in the world.
So water is not longer cheap.
Yes. See now, if you have to buy pure water 15 naira for 3 now, the people that will drink pure water will be more than the pure water they are buying. Because everybody is thirsty, but nobody has the money to afford. They will go to you buy. I remain for me. Drink small remain for me because the money is not there to buy common pure water.
This is not funny, but it appears funny sometimes. But this is about humanity. This is about human beings who has no reason, no cause to be subjected to certain level of dehumanizing experiences, psychologically damaging experiences on the psyche of the Nigerian masses.
Yes.
Now, in this hardship, you are not even talking about insecurity. That is a no-go area. Look at Abuja, who is the seat of power. Insecurity everywhere. People are unsettled because of the panic of imminent attack. So what exactly and where exactly are we going as a country? Do you see Nigeria surviving the next possibly 10 years or so with this system?
In Nigeria, yeah, everybody now, every human being has a spirit of his own or her own. Because you know, in this country, as government is being practiced as well, there's no security in the country. It's only when they have a regional issue now, you see the whole Nigerian security, they're feeling as if there's security. Common election, there was no security hope to provide for the whole pool unit. So police don't even have ordinary common vigilante to rest of the police or army that is a police. So in Nigeria here, the out of security control, which government have not even made an effort for it. And we will not even see an evidence towards that. They are not even thinking of it. That's why you have killing every year. If you think of the rate of the killing in Nigeria, if 100 people die in a day, it shows that the 80% of the dyers are be killed by individuals because of insecurity. And unfortunately, 20 is just yes, the 20 is just maybe natural death being caused by their gods. But 80%
some hunger, not even natural death.
Because when you are hungry, you are malnourished, and it affects your psyche and emotions. So it could lead to death, stress builds up. So sometimes it may not be natural, even the 20%, 80% being caused by insecurity, which is government is used. In America, if someone have to die, they have to trace the rate of the cause of the death. At the cause of insecurity, somebody will die by being insecure
repeatedly every time.
Not being kidnapped several times without even asking why or reason.
Within the Nigerian
without even making any solution to it, without even asking question. The government don't even care, they don't even mind. They believe once someone dies, in Nigeria here, the government have taken it as an achievement to somebody to die.
So if you have on the if you have opportunity to leave this country now, your passport is ready to travel to US or any other country, would you take
nobody that will give sugar and this amount that will reject it, because nobody rejects honey. You know how sweet the honey is. And one of the best of food of monkey is banana. Monkey cannot reject his own banana. So and I have that as a privilege. Yes, I'm looking for I'm being hustling to travel out, and the opportunity is given to me free. So why would I be even bothering myself on it? I should be thanking to God. The opportunity I'll be waiting. And every time you pray for
is a prayer answer.
Yes, because every time you're going to say, God, send my helper, and the helper I have for you to lead the nation that will be stronger on. And
your own country, you're
asking for God to send the helper. It's not about my own country. We're talking about what I'm facing through, what I'm passing through.
in your own country?
In my own country, the softness I'm seeing and what I'm seeing, both physical and spiritual, is enough to drive person crazy in this country.
We might not go the spiritual aspect because we might not live here
Let me tell
today.
you what is happening to Nigeria is not only physically. You see somebody that we are passing physical and spiritual because the leadership we are seeing in Nigeria is do and die affair.
Exactly.
We are not practicing it according to the law or the constitution or the democracy we know. We are seeing it as if you know favor, you go to hell. If you don't want it,
If you know favor, you go to hell.
go to hell. They don't even see, they don't even send, they don't even know you're existing. Imagine a country they don't have population control. How will government know who is existing and who is not existing? There's no population control. They don't even know the number of people that is living in Nigeria.
You mean we are just moving as shepherds without sheep, without shepherds?
People that know that because when you have a population control, then when you know these people are reducing. All things is going wrong, but because we don't care, we don't even mind. Where do we have census? We don't even know what census are getting in Nigeria.
Our census is a mere projection, so it's not the real, of course, reflection of what is on ground. Thank you so much for your submission this morning. Will you now blame those who are calling for self-determination because they have seen that Nigeria system is not working and is not fashionable, and they say no, we can't continue to live in this denial. We must chart a way forward for our people and our posterity.
Let me say it. In Nigeria as a country, we that is human beings are living Nigerians. If it is not because the God created us very strong, very, very strong. No nation in this world will break what Nigeria will be half and survive it. No country, no masses that will relate what Nigerians are relating from the people of this government that will take it easy to governments. Imagine South Africa, the common man in South Africa bust out on the streets. That will not take it. The riot to start, protest to start, but Nigeria here, you keep on bearing, you keep on swallowing spirit. Even when it has
gotten to the bones and marrows of
it is more than the bones, even more than the vein. It has eaten up the bones and marrows. It's not the mental, even it's not the brain, the senses, everything. So
Nigeria have
already endured a lot. What we are relating in this country, even yes, they say as great they are, they cannot take it from the government.
Okay, continue.
As I'm saying now, even the years, the common man years cannot take to the quarter of what Nigerians are taking. They cannot take it, to be honest with you. We have engaged a lot. Somebody will just shoot and die, pal. We will not even ask person, what happened, why did you kill the person, or what killed the person. Nobody cares about. Everybody will just walk and start going.
Okay, sorry. Let's go ahead. Thank you. Okay, let's just adjust.
Okay, must to say, the rate we are passing through in this country as a citizens is even enough to even we as youth, we as Nigerians, we as common man to pass out on the streets and start riot. Not even protest is just a common thing to compare what you are passing.
And start riot.
Riot, honestly. Because you can't keep somebody in hunger and expecting the person to be patient. And they are telling us, what do you say?
You have to suffer for a while.
Yes,
Endure little suffering.
let the poor breathe, and I'm not giving a provision to the poor. How would the poor breathe well?
So who are the poor? Are they calling Nigerian masses?
No, they already call those poor because they have recognized poverty against the masses. The way they are increasing the rate of poverty is just because they don't want the common man to breathe. Because if they may have to preach up the phone and they speak louder. They wanted to remain that strong, so you know if you have the power over them. So when they give you a peanut, you'll be appreciated. When they give you a granite, you'll be happy. The government is doing well. Which is not good, which is very, very bad. But I remember, the heaven suffers violence.
And the violence taken by force.
By force.
Okay, not until Nigerians, of course, rise to the occasion.
Even poor start from heaven. So if we in a good day realize ourselves, the government will witness what the heaven have witnessed.
Okay.
Because I know the Lucifer fights over years in atmosphere to succeed. But end of the day was driver. That's how the masses become in a good day as lion as battle.
So it's an issue of battle for survival. And the more they wait time, the more they sink abysmally. So now the masses should rise to fight for themselves.
Yes, because now
for the true figure.
Because now I watch a video where they show Nigerian youth and China youths. China youths are making use of their tools and they have to make and some provision to themselves, which governments have already laid the foundation for them. But Nigeria, we keep on praying in the churches, try to cause sorrow to ourselves. But let me tell you, the prayer cannot even solve half of what we are seeing. We know God still exists, and there is God which we believe on. And we know God has given us everything. He gave human being power to control over whatever has to do on earth. He left for us to, we as a common man, as masses, to take over the power by ourselves, by fire, by force.
Prayer is for direction and for God's favor upon what you are doing. But if the government is indifferent about the plight of the people, have not created the enabling environment, so that prayer will eventually not work. Yes. So that's why people resort to prayer, because I say the only resort where they can draw comfort or solace. Yes. Because the government, everything has failed them. What is left for them now, not to dive into depression, is just to believe and hope properly that God could provide.
We believe in prayer more than creativity. We believe in prayer more than physical challenge. We believe in prayer than what you can do to a two-pair hand. There's one person that was saying something, that Dangote produce sugar, to produce mango, to produce this one, to produce the other one. Is Dangote sleeping so much? Is Dangote sleeping so much when he's producing all these things? No. But Nigerian sugar, you see somebody on Monday in church, Tuesday is in the church, Wednesday is in church, even including on Sunday service, will be in church. There's nothing like money from heaven. There's no tree. There's no tree in Nigeria that is growing money. There's no tree. That you express after your prayer, you go under that tree, then you pick your money there. No.
Thank you so much. So
we have to work with our children. We have to work towards our achievement. We have to work towards Nigeria progress by ourselves, not by the government. We can't wait for the government anymore. It's unbearable.
So how do we work out?
We have to force these people and tell them how uncomfortable we are about the government and how they have already killed the common man's hope in the country, and how they have already buried our talents in the nation, and how they have already
destroyed many features,
destroyed our destinies. Imagine school fees now. They say school fees have increased. Some cannot even afford to the school. Those who have not even been in school, they have any hope to go to school.
Honestly, I know how much I'm paying from more than 60% increment.
More than 60.
More than 60%,
which is not supposed. From 1 naira to 4 naira, which is something that counts up to 3 in addition, which is very bad. Let me just say it in this way. Some now who have not been in school, who wish to go to school because of the unaffordable of the car, they can't even thinking of hoping how to go to school anymore. They'll just take it, let me just find what to eat and relax.
There is a projection that in the next 2 years, more undergraduates will drop out.
Because many.
Somebody who is finding it difficult to pay 25,000 cannot afford 190,000, 180 something. You say, how can that magic be done with this economic?
And the government have a job for the common man. The government have not even said be working here. They just only promise of visual.
Honestly, even in Western world, you can be working as an undergraduate,
yes,
and find studying as an undergraduate and find one or two things to help to augment. But that is not fashionable. It's not possible.
They just promising us that something does not exist.
Which is
they don't promise us a student loan. Student loan does not exist.
Where is the student loan?
It does not exist.
They have not even established the institution that will dish out the money.
Everyone they give you the money. There's no job for to be working and be paying the money. The money will be only highest 1 semester or highest 1 year. Well, you have 4 years, maximum of 500,000. Thank you so much. You have 4 years course and they are giving you 500,000. The 500,000 living for 4 years.
Oh, that is it.
And there's no job for the country after the graduation. So how will you pay the 500,000? Will you be a criminal and be stealing and be paying? It's unfair, Nigerians.
It's unfair. Thank you so much for your submission.
Nice.
Even 500, we do appreciate your wonderful submission. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. Have a fantastic weekend. Yes, you're most welcome here. Before we, of course, give you Mazo Ken the opportunity to speak. Good morning, Mr. Ohanaeze. Good morning. Of course, Mr. Chief J.O. Okwadi. Good morning, Professor. I trust you are doing well in Australia. How is Australia today? Yes, I'm Mechi Wachuku. Good morning. Yes, you are asking Kunle is a controversial person, poor and hungry. Well, that may not be the subject of discussion today. The Monios they said Christianity is the major problem of Nigerian youth. Well, of course, it's subject to controversy. Stop and chop. Good morning. This man just mouth. Well, I hope you are referring to the just immediate uh, pastor reviewer. Thank you. Good morning, Maziopara. Happy weekend.
Yeah, Mr. Chigozendi, good morning. Yeah, shall we pray? In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, Abba Father, I thank thee and magnify your name for making it possible for all of us to be alive, for making it possible since you have been speaking in this on the bus stop, no evil have befallen upon us. Nobody have come against us. It's not by our own might or righteousness, but it's by your own grace. Father, be praised, be magnified in Jesus' name. I thank you, O Lord God Almighty, how we see having a piece of air breathing in Nigeria here. We have not been like other countries like that are in shambling now. Although no matter what we pass, we still have let us have that little peace. Father, be praised, be magnified in Jesus' name. I thank you on behalf of all our fast all over the world. I thank the breath of Mazin Namdekalo. I thank the breath of Simon Eta. I thank the breath of Sodu Amateku, Odua Republic. I thank you on behalf of Republic. I thank you on behalf of ESN. I thank you on behalf of Putin and Russia. I thank you on behalf of Donald Trump and America. Father, be praised, be magnified in Jesus' name. Father, I thank you for this welfare of everyone in all over the world. Thank you. Be blessed, be magnified in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. I am Mr. Akpara, the new Oko condemn in this Second Republic of Biafra. Nick Banazi Namdekalo and his IPOB government of Biafra. Long live Republic of Biafra. Long live Republic of Biafra. Long live Odua Republic. Long live Odua Republic.
Thank you.
Long live Arewa Republic. Long live Arewa Republic. Jesus' name.
Thank you so much,
first of all, before I come, I want to correct some impression. Okay. I don't like how people criticize Christianity. I don't like how people go against the worshippers of God. No, God have failed us. I like have failed us. The judiciary have failed us. Military have failed us. Even civilians have failed us. Are we going to turn our back to God? God will never fail us. That's what we call on God. The poor masses of Nigeria, the common people of Nigeria. Our last hope now is God, not judiciary, not legislator, not the presidency. Only God can save we in Nigeria. Praise the Lord.
Hallelujah. Let me say, I think this is Saturday's, is this Sunday school? Or
what you call it? No, I don't like how people criticize God. Okay, he's talking of Dangote. If God will take the love of Dangote away, will Dangote produce what he's producing? If God will say Dangote will never exist. God wants everybody, and God gives what He wants to give you, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim. And the people always talk about Christians. Is it only Christian the religion in Nigeria? Why are they against Christians? People are Christians are talking against Christians. Is it not hypocrites? This my fellow that you have to know. I say Nigeria should take guns. Nigeria should take this. How many times have you gone for other demonstration?
No, he didn't say Nigeria should take gun, but he said that it's high time Nigeria rise to confront the monsters bedeviling them that have become a cog in the wheel of their progress, in their success, that have brought so much damage to their destinies and the talents of people. So that is what he's calling that. So Nigeria should not be living in denial.
Nigeria should rise up. Is it not a youth? Have you rise up? Did you participate? Did you look at the display his cloth every day? Have you ever entangled himself or put himself where there is a deliberation of anything? Have you ever done it?
Well, that is not the subject of discussion. Where we are to discuss about Nigeria at 63, Afenifere, Ohanaeze, Arewa, and the other, of course, social, cultural or political associations have passed votes of no confidence in Nigeria, saying that we can't celebrate in hardship and poverty. What is that to be celebrated in hardship and poverty?
Those social cultural groups in Nigeria are the problem of Nigeria. Arewa, Ohanaeze Igbo, Afenifere, they are the major problem of Nigeria. Not leaders forum, they are the major problem of Nigeria. The they are the major problem of Nigeria. They are the major problem of Nigeria. Now, are they not one supporting government? Are they not the one who want to go to rural grassroots and tell people support this government? When Jonathan was here, is it not that one was crying against him? Is it not elders crying against him? I don't know who gang up with some part of Afenifere, not the one Afenifere, to remove Jonathan. When Buhari was here, how many times have Ariwa come to condemn Buhari that what he did is not good? How many times did Yanti Allah come to condemn Buhari what he did is not good? How many times did the local elders forum come to condemn Buhari what is not good? Now they are condemning, and Afenifere join them because now na Southern man, Emiloko, Tinubu is there now. I'm not saying I'm defending Tinubu, but I'm telling you the reality. I'm an Igbo man, Tinubu is a Yoruba man. But the only time Southern man enter there, you will see Northern crying. Although both the Tinubu and Northern, they are the same 1 and 10 plus, they are the same shoe. Oh, okay, now I'm not talking Ohanaeze and Igbo. Ohanaeze and Abuja, not in Igbo. Ohanaeze and Abuja. Ohanaeze and Igbo. That to sort themselves out. I don't know the one who support Buhari until the end. Tinubu enter, they are supporting Tinubu. I don't know what they are killing their brothers. If we are suffering, Ohanaeze, not that we are suffering. Ohanaeze, Igbo, Ohanaeze and Abuja, not that we are suffering. Why can't they join hands together with Nnamdi Kanu and Sam Monepa to liberate ourselves from Nigeria? If they know that suffering is in Nigeria, if they know that the Nigerians are suffering.
So let me read out this. Sorry for interrupting you. Yeah. Romarius said, our youths prefer to pray than to work. I think you are absolutely wrong. You stand to be corrected. That is fallacy. Nigerian youths will target their resilience. They work even their life out with nothing to show forth for it. I've seen Nigerian youths have become, of course, I've also worked in that sector, where you work in factory for 12 hours just to have a break of 30 minutes. At the end of the day, you are paid 20,000, 15,000. So what is that to plan the future? So we can't come to the public and say Nigerians youths don't want to work. It is outrightly wrong. The government should be blamed for not putting the rights, of course, conducive environment for them to strive. Nigerians are ingenuity and it's given equal opportunity. Those little basic opportunity will do exceedingly well. That is my submission.
This man that he said this thing, if you know that Nigerians youth are not ready to work, let him come down to Nigeria and teach us how to work. Even in Ukraine that are in war now, take Nigerian youth there, they will survive because we are almost at war. Nigerian youth are eager to do work, but nobody give them the work. Where is the factory?
Yes, you can even provide for if you have any company started in Nigeria. I have so many youths who might, of course, take advantage of that. Let us know via the comment section. You can contact me for that in subsequent after this program.
If Nigerian government can open only agricultural sector, make it mechanized, you will see youth working. Only agricultural sector. They say youth are not working. I am working. That's why you don't see me here all the time. But the 4 months run half, 15 of the month, the salary rate have end up. Cost living are very high. The salary is poor.
Cost of living
are very high, and the salary is poor. As of now, I am here telling you, I don't have even 1 pence.
Even for the weekend.
Even 1 kobo.
This is a man that is working all around the clock.
30 days of the month, I am working, except on Sunday. But I don't have in my pocket now to eat for today. And the people are not working. If you're in Nigeria and you're saying this thing, why did you go outside? Why can't you stay here and work and show us how to work? Don't worry, that is a bygone. As I'm saying, if Ohanaeze and Igbo know that they're suffering in Nigeria, why can't they join hands with Nnamdi Kanu, Samuel Ekpa, to move the people away from Nigeria where there is suffering? Because also, if they know that Nigeria is no more built for masses, why can't they do something to Ohanaeze and Igbo? Rather, they go to Abuja, collect money, collect everything for them and their children. They come out crying, Nigeria is so good. If Nigeria is so good, let Ohanaeze and Igbo leave Abuja and go back to their home, to their states, and do Ohanaeze there. You are Ohanaeze and Igbo, and you stay in Abuja. From here to you did not travel down to Igbo. You are no more Ohanaeze and Igbo, but you are Ohanaeze Abuja. Ohanaeze Abuja.
And unfortunately, they are not holding the governors accountable. Who collects allocation on monthly basis and motivation for.
Because they are taking part from the governors of Igbo land, of Biafras. They are taking part of the money, sharing to themselves. And they go out and tell us Nigeria is not good. Who made Nigeria is not good? Are they not the one that who made Nigeria is not good? Look at they are working now to get a hold of Osama Neta. And they get hold of Nnamdi Kanu. I'm telling you, they come in Biafra land, come in South, it's not the Fulani that is doing us. It's not the Dudu that is doing us. Not Yoruba, not Hausa. It's the Igbos are doing Igbos. Ebubagan, who from Ebubagan? Is it not Iboma from Ebubagan? And recruit Fulani and recruit some stupid Igbo people. Join them to show them the actual ways, to show them beauty to follow. Who from it?
Mr. Chapman, stop and chop. Please, where do we stop and chop? I have not seen this location. Where do we stop and chop, Mr. Bright? Please let us know, because there are more people interested here even this morning, as you can see from the screen, who are willing to locate the destination where we can stop and chop. Is that tenable within the Nigerian state, or you could make such provisions? You said, is Ohanaeze supposed to be sharing money to Igbos? Mazi Okokonde, that's the question to you.
Ohanaeze is not supposed to share money to Igbos, but Ohanaeze are supposed to betray Igbos. Ohanaeze is not supposed to share money for Igbos, but Ohanaeze are supposed to pay for Nnamdi Kanu kidnapping. Ohanaeze are supposed to mastermind Nnamdi Kanu to release. Ohanaeze are to mastermind someone that kidnapping or bring him back home to Nigeria. But Ohanaeze are not supposed to share money. Can you see it? Ohanaeze are good to do evil, but they are not good to do good. May God curse them in Jesus' name.
Yes.
May God rise up against them in Jesus' name. May anger of the God consume them in Jesus' name. I am a coconut that I'm speaking it.
Yes, sir, and we are not only here to tell tales of woes. We can also, of course, bring succor and hope to the few we can. If you can only give us the support we need, it, or the financial support to get that happen. We intend to run what you call a breakfast show, where some people will be given tea or, of course, a breakfast in that regard, in order as a palliative, sponsored by of course, and partnered by Call Wave TV. If you're interested in that, please kindly contact Chief Ozembibo via my, of course, either my phone number, you can see it at the description quarter, and let us do the work and see how we can encourage the little we can within this region, the little we can, of course, encourage humanity. Yes, Kokondom has been very frank this morning and annoyed with the development. Now that the Ohanaeze, Afenifere, the Arewa and every other, of course, group have passed such vote of no confidence, that they have registered the undeniable reality that there is hardship, poverty ravaging the entire country. No one is left in this pain and agony. What is the way forward?
The Ohanaeze and Igbo, Afenifere, and the Northern group, whether Arewa, whether Mianti Allah, whether Northern Elders Forum, are crying out. Is it really done that this poverty started? Is it true that to keep it? All the whole meetings from enemy things, does people eat it?
But governments should be progressive, and we shouldn't be counting the past. We only refer to the past, but not intending that the past will be better than the future. So that is why Tinubu's, of course, becomes a reference point.
I am not supporting Tinubu that what is going on in Nigeria now is good. I am not supporting Tinubu at all, at all. But these people are talking now. They should not talk. They should not talk. That's my own annoyance. They should leave government Tinubu off alone as they leave the government of Buhari alone. Tinubu is not giving me food. Tinubu don't know me. I don't know Tinubu. Even if Tinubu is passing on the way, if I'm trying to go closer, they will arrest me that I want to assassinate him. But that will not make me not to talk the truth. I'm a social critic. I don't support anybody. When you do good thing, I will support you. When you do bad thing, I will go against you. You understand? Tinubu, although Tinubu was the part and parcel of the government, past government that he inherited. What happened with what Tinubu inherited? Tinubu himself followed to sow the seed we are reaping now. But all of them that are ganging up now is not good, it's not good. Now we are there when Buhari was there. For good 8 years, they did not see that Nigerians are suffering. For good 8 years, they did not see Fulani herdsmen killing. For good 8 years, they did not see the killing in Southeast. For good 8 years, they did not see that now the God have set him free, but the government said no, it's not be free. For good 8 years, they don't see how they kill our people in Port Junction, in Head Bridge, in CKC, in Port Harcourt, in Imo State. They don't see it.
Now, if Ohanaeze said that there is hardship and poverty in Nigeria, now why are they opposing the agitation for the restoration of Biafrans by the Easterners, the IPOB?
This is what I'm telling you.
Who knew because of this injustice of hardship and poverty forced on them, they no longer want to believe and of course the part of the Nigerian project. Why is Ohanaeze indirectly opposing the restoration of Biafra?
Not indirectly, it's directly, not indirectly. They have come out openly, right to Finland, that some of them should bring back home. They have come out and said openly, even Nnewodo was the President General of Ohanaeze and Igbo. He said, whosoever will touch Fulani should first of all kill him. He said so. John Nnewodo. He said that if we work back now with the Biafrans and Nigeria, he will be the first saboteur to sabotage Biafra. He said so. His father was a saboteur during the first war. Biafra war. His father was a saboteur. So it's bread and butter of saboteur. He continued in it. Now look at it. The one of yesterday that joined them said that he wouldn't mind to sacrifice his life to bring peace in Southeast Nigeria. He will go to Finland, go and meet Simon.
Without the release of Mazen Nandekano, that is gross injustice. A man who has been set free by a competent court of law within the Nigerian legal jurisprudence should be held behind the bars illegally. And you're talking of peace.
And the one Fulanis are killing, Nigerian army are killing, bombing civilians, killing everybody. The one now did not come out and say, stop, let us talk for peace.
Honestly, that brings us back to the Southeast Economic Summit that is going on. And how would that be possible if there is no peace in the Eastern region?
Southeast Economic Summit. Why not Southeast Liberation Summit? Southeast Economic Summit. Is it not when we are alive that we want that economic summit? Is it when we are alive that we build the economy? And can somebody build the economy in debt? Why can't talk of Southeast stopping of Fulani killing, of Nigerian army, Nigerian armed forces killing? Why can't talk there? They are talking economic summit. Look at them, barbarians. Look at them, barbarians. Look at their talk. What is economy? Okay, why can't they come and talk the destruction of Igbo properties in Lagos here? Is it not part of economy? Okay, since war have ended, you are now coming to talk economic summit. Since war ended, tell me any tribe that have gone to Biafra land to establish. Why can't they talk since war ended? Tell me how many people themselves they are allowed to take their own company back to their home. Tell me how many people.
Has the war really ended? Has the war really ended?
No,
with what you are saying, isn't that an extension of the war in another cruel tactical approach? Because if the war has ended, Ohanaeze and Afenifere wouldn't be talking of hardship, wouldn't be talking of poverty. The world was supposed to bring an end to poverty and hardship, security, but unfortunately, the people who fought the war, who think they won the war, are the most insecure the regions of our time today. So, if you're saying that the war has ended, it could be somehow controversial as far as my opinion is concerned.
Yes.
For me, the war has never ended, but possibly we are looking for an end of that war. It is taking a different dimension and approach. Unfortunately, more casualties are falling victims now, not just the only eastern region, but across the entire region of this country, now having a fair share of the brutality, injustice, and unfairness meted on the supposed Biafrans. So I don't think, but the war has just escalated, not just concentrating on the eastern region, but the third region is now facing the war, life and direct.
As you said, really, you are right. The war is not ended. It's a slip of tongue on my own side. What we have is a ceasefire. We have ceasefire from 1970 to 1999 when Obasanjo took over again as Nigerian president. The war, we have ceasefire when Obasanjo captured Uli Airport. When Obasanjo led his troop to Oro, that's when we have ceasefire. And the war reopened again when Obasanjo was president of Nigeria 1999. Must up, rise up. From that day, must up, rise up. They have not stopped killing the Biafrans. They are still killing the Biafrans up to today. Even Arewa, Northerners, both the Christians and Muslims, both their indigenous and non-indigenous, all of them know that the war have not ended. Because during the time of Jonathan, Arewa, Nati Allah, Northern Elder Sorum, cried out against Jonathan that he was using Ilelejika to revenge or to retaliate what Nigerian did to Biafrans. Which is let them say no, that the war did not end. That's why they made that statement.
Yes, if the war ended, according to Stop and Chop, no justice, no peace. If there is no perceived justice, there cannot be, of course, an end of the war. So the war has not ended, and the Mazio Konkundem, thank you so much. You can support us via the super chat and by joining our, of course, YouTube channel membership program. By this way, we encourage us, of course, to continue this good work, and we appreciate that if that happens. Now, your final thought, Mazio Konkundem. Someone Chop said, do you have the evidence? What evidence again do you need?
Evidence of what?
Are people not dying? Has the war ended?
No.
Why are most Dutch parents afraid of returning home?
No,
if the country is safe.
Mr. Chop and loot or stop and chop.
Where are you stopping and chop? I beg. You locate me there.
I beg. Have the wars ended? When they are still bombing east up to down, they fell up to now. Fighter jet going down. Okay, if
within Nigerian territory, the supposed military bombing innocent people, of course, people and the residential homes.
There was unknown gunmen in the north. There was bandit in the north. Last time, when bandit or unknown gunmen bring down Nigerian Air Force plane in Niger State, and 22 people were killed, Nigerian Army officers.
They went and attacking the villages
where those will take place. The government and bomb houses to arches.
Of individuals,
people, innocent people, old men and women that are looking for their dead bread. But go to east is happening. When they arrange, when the politicians in east arrange with some fools, all the people and the supporters, they will wait and they will lay and they kill people in uniform. Then the people come and say, IPOB, unknown gunmen, Eastern Security Network, Biafra Liberation Army, they are the one that did it. One is the collaborator, the governors, the politicians did it. So that the Igbos will be killing. And the government of Nigeria, controlled by Fulani, we allow the army to go, Air Force to go, Navy to go, all of them will be killed. They will kill all our people. But Asif Dukobo will carry gun, patrolling up and down, killing people. Nobody will attack Asif Dukobo and his men because it's for government, it's for Fulani. Nobody will attack them. And you tell me the war that have ended. The war have ended. People cannot go to their farm in the east. People cannot go to market in the north. People cannot go to work in the east. I'm not talking in the north. You will see military people, uniform people with gun parading. Have the war ended, the Mr. Chop and Loot or Chop and whatever. Where there is.
I don't want anyone to insult the.
No, I'm not insulting, but I don't understand what the way. It says what? Stop and
stop and chop.
Come and chop or stop and chop.
Stop and chop.
Okay, stop and chop. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry if I did not pronounce it well. But go to east. There is a checking point in every 100 meters. You will see checking point. And when you enter Benin, down to Port Harcourt, down to Akwa Ibom, you see checkpoint every 100 meters. From Benin to Enugu, you will see checking point. Every 100 meters, every 100 checking point, 100 meters, you see a checking point. Who are those on the checking point? Nigerian army. When equipped, as if we say they are going to Ukraine to fight. In their own country, and you say the war have ended. God forbid.
I think that will be another topical issue. I will raise that and we deliberate on that. The war has not ended. Will be the subject of discourse or topical issue regarding that submit or of course next edition. Thank you once again, esteemed fans. Your parting was Ohanaeze Okpara. Data is telling us to wind up because we've
I am Mr. Paradedi Okokondem. In this Republic of Biafra, leave Ohanaeze Nnamdi and his IPOB government of Biafra. Then coordinator Simon Ekpa, coordinating IPOB autopilot and Biafra Prime Minister in exile. May God help every one of us in Jesus' name. May God help our Republic in Jesus' name. May God help Oduduwa Republic in Jesus' name. May God help Biafran Republic in Jesus' name. All of us will separate peacefully from this construction called Biafra, so that every one of us and this construction called Nigeria, so that the eyes of every one of us will open. Our eyes haven't opened. Even Arewa, their eyes haven't opened.
Thank you, Ohanaeze Okpara. Thank you for wonderful submissions and the time. Yes, according to the Nigerian Constitution, a Nigeria state will be a sovereign state and an entity that is predicated on justice, fairness, and equity. Now, I think it's high time that we are reminded of that fundamental principle of existence as a people or our constitution as a Nigerian country. Are we still, of course, imbibing such a tenet of democracy or constitution? Is Nigeria still predicated on equity, fairness, and justice at 63? Well, I leave that with you, of course, to make your own judgment and submissions until we come your way some other time. Remain blessed. Wishing you all the best of the weekend. It's Chigozie Ndibo. Bye for now.